Hi. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm called Imperfect Christian because I'm not worthy, I'm not religious, and I'm unashamed because I forgive myself for my sins and God has forgiven me for my sins. And therefore I have moved on and I've changed and I'm still working on things, clearly. So today I would like to talk about unbelievers and believers living in a worldly environment among worldly people, because we're definitely doing that right now as this day. Okay. Some people, for some strange reason, only see black and white, and that scares me because that way of thinking will send them to hell because they don't see bad or good. They're very numb to the things they do. Okay, so when a person is comes to Christ and changes, and God renews their mind, but then you have to live in a worldly environment. It's like the person is being forced to, live a difficult life. It's very hard to transition when you're used to living in this worldly world and living in a worldly way. It's very difficult, I must say. It is. So I'm going to read Colossians chapter 3, verse 1 through 2. Lord does make demands on us as his children and servants. He requires us to set our minds on heavenly things. Because a lot of us do not do that. We do not set our mind on heavenly things. We set our mind on negative things, and we watch Love and Hip Hop, and we get caught up in the gossip, and we'll tend to get thrown off track because we get distracted so easily as human beings. And the world is good at doing that because we've been doing it for years. You get distracted easily, something happens, it's like, and then you kind of lose, your focus on God due to that. And I experienced that myself, and I'm still experiencing it myself, being around worldly people and people with nasty attitudes and things like that. It does have an effect on me sometimes because I tend to get wrapped up in my feelings sometimes, and I'm learning not to walk in my feelings so much and walk in spirit, if that makes sense. Because I'm an emotional person. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I walk in my emotions sometimes, and I don't walk in spirit. And I had to recognize that also, that I tend to do that, and sometimes I have to check myself with that. I walk in my feelings more than I walk in spirit. I'm going to also read as well, live out our lives as devoted husbands, wives, fathers, and mothers. In life, we live our lives out that way. We live it as devoted husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, whatever title you have. We live our lives in that way. But don't be so consumed by that you lose focus on God. And then you can also read Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22 through 33. And then we're going to also read, he also says we will have contact with ungodly people around us. We will. We really will, like I do right now. You will constantly have contact with ungodly people, and you have to stand on your 2 feet and not allow them to rise you up and get your emotions in check so where you don't get mad. And I'm basically telling myself this by telling you this, honestly. And don't get so caught up in it, and check yourself before you wreck yourself, honestly, because sometimes ungodly people will come in your life because they don't like Christians, and they'll be mean, and they'll say things. And as human beings, we're emotional, so of course we're going to get mad and angry. But we then have to check ourselves and kind of pull back and be like, okay, whew, you tried it, but mind your business and keep going, because that God is going to work on that person. Or they're going to learn the hard way that acting like that and being ungodly and nasty is not the way to live. And that's that's 1 Corinthians verse 5, 10. And then we have Mark chapter 16, verse 15, because we live in this world, basically. And then John 17, verse 11, because we live in a world where we always get in contact with ungodly people, and we have to learn how to control our feelings and not get so caught up when they say mean things or react in a way that's ungodly. because they're going to do this every day, especially at work. You have managers and they treat you all crazy, but then you have to pray and pray that God helps you with your emotions and keep that in check. And also, you maybe got a job that wasn't even right for you, so therefore the job you have is going to have chaos. Because if you went to God and asked God for a job that's better for you, and the job you got is consists of chaos, that's not a job that God wants you to have anyway. You just chose it due to you wanting to get taken care of financially, of course, but God provides, so you have to also think about that too, and make sure a job you have is right for you. Because I'm experiencing that now. I'm in a job that's completely corrupt and with chaos, and just due to me not asking God before I just went to work without asking him, like, hey, is this a job you want me to do? I didn't ask, so therefore I have to suffer for my consequences for getting a job without even asking. Because otherwise I wouldn't even be at this job at all, honestly. I'd probably be at mostly a better job with no chaos, Well, of course there's going to be a few people there that aren't so nice and nasty, but it wouldn't be so many people, if it makes sense, with the drama and things like that. And honestly, let's be real, it's numerous, situations that come up that make it very difficult to, and also impossible to follow God's word, and put him first and follow his commandments. But God always has a way around a sin. You just have to look and find your way out. Just as if a guy comes over and he starts kissing you. Be like, hey, move yourself in that situation. Tell him to leave. Most likely, we need to chill out, or he's gonna have to leave. And if he continues, just tell him to leave, and then you're good. Or you're at a party, you feel uncomfortable, you feel like as if something's bad gonna happen or something like that. Just leave. Get in the car, leave. Get your Uber. Get the heck on. Tell your friends you gotta go. Mind your business. When you feel uncomfortable or feel as if you're gonna get yourself into sin, just leave. Find your way out. I know it's hard. You don't want to look crazy. People kind of looking at you like, what? But it's for you, and that's your personal conviction that you have. You don't want to fall into that trap of sin. And I'm going to read, God himself knows our frame. He is mindful that we are but dust. Psalms 103, verse 14. God knows us. He's mindful. He made us. He knows how to get us out of a situation. We just got to ask him to find our way out of a sin, or before we even commit it, which is hard. Sometimes you feel like there's no way out. Most likely it is, but we just aren't aware of it, if it makes sense. We're not really aware that it's a way out of, doing what we're doing, if that makes sense. Because God, he knows, he made us, so he knows the complex situations we are in, the difficult, close to impossible situation we face on a daily basis. But if you just go to him and ask him for help and to keep you strong during that process and not slip up and fall, because God knows the complex situations that we face, and doesn't require the absolute impossible. Scripture says his commandments are not burdensome. It's not. We must obey God's will, just in his word. I know it's very difficult. I deal with that on a daily basis, as a believer. And I know as an unbeliever, I'm sure if you're an unbeliever, most likely you're doing even twice as more, because you're allowing the devil in, and you're around people that are ungodly and with their corrupt spirits or corrupt ways. And eventually if you keep hanging out with them, they're going to rub off on you. And then you find yourself in that same situation, and you're kind of like, because it says in the Bible, corrupt people, corrupt company, bad company corrupts good morals, and it really does, because I experienced it myself. You have to watch who you hang out with. You are who you hang out with, like people say. So if you hang out with bad people, most likely you're going to end up rubbing off, they're going to end up rubbing off their bad ways on you, and you're going to become a bad individual also. So you have to be very mindful who you hang out with. And that's what I've learned, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm still open for friends, but the friends I want in my life. I pray that God sends me people that are really on fire for God and that are understanding, not judgmental, and know who they are, complete. And if they're not complete, they're getting close to it. It'd be pretty cool for me, honestly. And then God, a lot of people say, like always, God allows complex and difficult situations to happen to us, to define us and also test us, our faith, because we don't have to have we only have to have a little faith as a mustard seed, a little tiny. We don't need that much faith, and He tests us, and then sometimes we fail, of course. But God made us. He knows we'll get back up. He made us. He knows our minds. He knows what we're thinking. He knows we're gonna go left or right before we even do it. Honestly, so it's like I tell people, you can't fool God by putting in work, because you go to hell. You go to heaven or hell for your heart. So you can't really fool God when He's the one that made you, and He knows your mind, and He knows the way you think. So it's like, He knows when you're angry. He knows when you calming down, acting like you got some sense. He knows when you're kind of second guessing it. He knows when you kind of like, He knows you. So you can't really fool God. So I'm not sure why people try to do that anyway. Honestly, I'm gonna also read Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 2. God has Israel travel in the desert for 40 years. What was His purpose in this? The Lord, your God, has led you in the wilderness that 40 years that He might humble you, to know what was in your heart, whether you could keep His commandments or not. So sometimes God will have you in the wilderness for 40 or 30 years, so that He can get you, so that He can make you humble, because He knows your heart, He really does know what's in your heart. So that you continue to keep following His commandments. He allows you to be in the wilderness, get, trials and tribulations, so that it can humble you, so that you can continue to follow His, commandments, which makes sense why He allows things to happen. People are like, why bad things to happen? So that He can humble you, so you continue to follow His commandments and realize that this world is wicked and it has nothing to offer you. Which makes sense. Yeah, she does. Like Miss Sharon says on Motivate to Win, that sometimes you have to walk in the wilderness by your own, but God is there with you, and He allows you to walk in the wilderness so that you can humble yourself and become a better Christian. You'll follow His commandments. You'll take it more serious, honestly. You have to get whooped up and slapped up. It's like you're getting a beating. You got to get beat up or something. You're going to have to get in the wilderness for a minute, for 40 days and 40 nights for real, so that you can become humble and follow God, which makes sense. I definitely was in the wilderness for a long time. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to also read 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. God will not allow us to face a situation where we are required to sin, but He will give us a way of escape. Just look for a way around the temptation to sin and refuse to sin. You always have to look for a way. Just, I know you may not feel like you can't, it's impossible to get out that situation, but trust me, it is. Usually, when it comes out like sex or parties or drugs, you just leave or just say no. And leave. Just bye. Don't associate yourself with these type of friends anymore if something comes up and you feel uncomfortable, because those friends are going to send you down hell with them, honestly, because you don't want to get caught up and corrupt because they're ungodly, they're non-believers. Because God, He wants us to arrange our life to where it glorifies Him in friendships, in our jobs, just family, just lots of love, which makes sense. Anything you do should kind of glorify God or ask God before you do anything, honestly. I think it makes it much easier. And I'm learning to do that myself, honestly. I really am. It's a process for me, because when you're used to living in this worldly world for so long, doing it your way, but now you have to do it God's way, it can come off very difficult, because it's like your flesh, you really just don't want to do it, honestly, because your flesh is so strong. But as you get closer to God, it becomes weak, honestly. And it has its moments where it feels like as if it's too strong sometimes, but sometimes your spirit will always overcome your flesh. Honestly, it really does. That's the spirit within that tells you when something's wrong, that tells you not to do something, or tells you not to be friends with that person, or it's just a way of guiding you so that you don't fall. I'm going to read 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Read it about 50 times already, I think, on my YouTube channel. Paul writes, "Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals." Like I said, I'm not the type to remember quotes but the thing is, I remember a verse, but I don't remember the chapter of the verse, if that makes sense. But eventually I think I'll get to the habit where I will. But I don't want to come off of one of them Christians that quote scriptures and really don't have no life experiences with it, honestly. Because me personally, I experienced hanging around the wrong people, becoming promiscuous because I hung out with the wrong people. Basically an example right there on its own, honestly. You have to watch who you hang out with, because it will rub off on you. You hang out with whores, you might become a whore. Close to it, honestly, and I'm just being honest here. You hang out with folks that do drugs, most likely at some point you're going to try it out. So you just don't tempt yourself and put yourself in that situation, because it's so hard and it's unbearable to the point where you will fall. And as humans, we were going to fall if we put ourselves in situations like that. And that's just being real, honestly, because you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you feel like you can't get out of, and you get so deep in, you find yourself in jail. You don't want to do that. You don't. I learned it the hard way. You don't want to end up in jail. You don't want to end up using your body and giving it to the whole world. God can renew your mind, make you a better person. And he did that for me. And I'm also going to read chapter 2, Timothy, verse 22. Paul also says that Timothy should live out his life with those who call on the Lord from a pure heart. You should live your life with other Christians. Fellowship. That's why they say it's good to go to church, because you get to meet other Christians. That's mainly what you should want to do. But I feel like you can meet Christians anywhere, honestly. You just have to be in the right place in the right time, and that's the way of God guiding you. But going to church and fellowshipping and meeting other Christians is a good thing also. But sometimes the churches and the pastors aren't right. They will deceive you and lead you astray. So you have to be careful what church you go to also. And it's okay to church hop. Like Miss Sharon said on Motivated to Win, it's okay to church hop and meet other Christians in other places. I feel like you should go to every type of church. Get a little feeling of something, I guess it's just me, Try every church until you find one. But I'm not religious, so when I say I'm not religious, I'm saying I'm not. When it comes down to things that religious people do, I do not do. I'm more of an understanding. Don't go to church every day, but I read my Bible every day. I'm actually right now writing summaries of each chapter of the Bible, so I can get a deeper understanding of it. So then I can start making videos of each chapter and explaining it on a deeper, detail. Just explain it much more, so that people can understand the Bible. Because I feel like a lot of people really just don't understand. I don't either. I'm actually learning step by step and break it down. Have like a study guide, and I'll put it at the bottom of my video. You just push that, check thing they have it there, the arrow, whatever it's called. And I just have my comment section too, where my notes I've written for my each video. I have notes where I write, and then I put it on my comment section so you can see it. And then you can write that down in your book. Have a composition book, write it in that. You get like 3 or 4 composition books and write notes and of a summary of each chapter. And they usually have it online, actually. I think it's on Bible Hub. I think it's Hub, Bible Hub, and they have summaries of each chapter. And it's like a deeper understanding of the Bible and why it was wrote. And it really helped me, actually, because I really was lost. Because it's like you go to church all your life, because I used to go to church all the time. And they don't really explain the Bible to you, really. They already know the Bible, so they just talk about it as if, oh yeah, chapter this, and you're just kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's crazy because each story actually can relate to your life. Once you actually really read it and get a deeper understanding of it, it really relates to your life. And a lot of chapters, are for believers to, keep you strong, explain to you how to follow the commandments, how to stay faithful. But God, again, allows you to go through the wilderness so that you become humble, so you continue to follow his commandments. Because I feel like if you won't go through nothing, you're not going to follow his commandments because you're like, whatever, unless you're just really a strong believer in God already, and some people are like that. But I feel like everybody has gone through their trials and tribulations for a reason, honestly. And it might be something little, maybe just fall out with your friends, boyfriend, usual stuff, nothing too crazy, of course, but these things we go through in the wilderness defines us, shows us how strong we are and resilient, because God made us that way, because God is in us. And I feel like if people can see God through you, that's mean you're doing something right. If they can't, it's time to do some changing, some growing, renewing your mind, and like I said, arrange your life to where it glorifies God in friendships and anything you do, honestly. And we have 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. He goes on to tell Timothy that he should avoid certain men who profess godliness but are living in sin. And that's like pastors that, confess I know Jesus, But when they go home, they're out in these streets having sex with all the people in the church. Well, I kind of find strange. I think it's clearly have a lust problem. Clearly, but have not addressed it because nobody else has addressed it for him at all, because he don't feel like he's wrong. I feel like when come on to pastors, it's okay for people to go to pastors and let them know when they're wrong in doing things. Or someone, even the wife should have, went to her husband, People don't go to others. That's a way of showing love, letting a person, hey, I see you got a problem, and this is what I did when I had that problem. Maybe it'll work for you, but go to God and ask him to help you with that lust. Because a lot of people have a problem with lust. It's strong, man, I know it. Oh, it was so strong, it had a hold on me to the point where it was ridiculous. I feel like it really doesn't have a hold on me that much. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have moments, but then it doesn't. I feel like maybe I'm just so focused on doing what I'm doing now that it's like I got too much going on right now. I'm trying to become a better person here so that I don't go to hell. That's what I'm doing here. Maybe I just don't got time for it. That's the way of God working with you. You really ain't got time for the craziness. And I'm sure it's gonna be a moment where I have a moment of weakness, or my lust is strong for when you start dating someone and you're attracted to them. That's just a test. Just stay strong. And most people get married after 6-7 months anyway. So yeah. And it also said we should shun bad companions, while we seek holy and godly friends. You have to shun people that are bad for you, that ungodly, non-believers, because they will lead you astray. And it's okay to seek and look and be hopeful and find people that are on that same level, that understand you on a deeper level, that are understanding and put God first. Because it's a beautiful thing, and I can't wait till I find just guys and girls, just friends that actually are on my level. So I think that's why I actually do want to start going to church actually more often, so I can just meet people and also get a word too. It's not that bad to get one. Like I said, I'm an imperfect Christian, so hey, I think everybody needs a word. And just meeting and fellowship with other Christians, and maybe help them. They probably feel as if they trapped up in the religion, in the church, that they feel as if they can't go outside of it and fellowship with other people. You should be able to talk to people that's ungodly, in a way that shows love, and not come off so judgmental, but show love. And you can't judge nobody if you're still dirty yourself, honestly. But when you become undirty and become, I guess, perfect in God's eyes, it still doesn't give you the right to judge, but at the same time, show love, I feel. Only God can judge, like people say, but that is a way of saying when people say that they can continue to sin when they say that saying, honestly. And these bad companions/friends involves sexual, immoral relationships, drunkenness, clubbing, making that money, living that fast life, if that makes sense, especially in Georgia, living that fast life, let's be honest. On that Instagram, straight flexing for real. Like, it's I'm just being honest. These kind of friends will pull you down. They really would on your, spirit, honestly. And make it so impossible which I'm looking at my notes right now. That's what I'm looking at. Make it so impossible to live a holy life, which was difficult for me. That's why I had to cut people off, because it was difficult. I was like, I can't live my life where you keep questioning me every time I'm doing something. Why you changing? Why you covering up? Why you ain't out here? Why you not clubbing? You just changed? I was used to the old you. Well, you're going to have to get used to the new me, dang it. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, I need to work on my cursing. Why you got to work on your cursing? You don't got to do all of that. It's like, what? What kind of friend say some mess stuff like that? It doesn't sit well with me anymore. I can't be friends with you. Sorry. And I will love you from afar, really. That's how I really feel. And I will actually pray for you, because you need help. Because you think cursing is normal or something, and it's not normal, people. Sorry. You have to follow God's commandments, when living in this world. And I know it's difficult, because I'm experiencing it right now, especially when I go to work and I want to bust somebody upside the head. I'm just being honest. Because they crazy, You come in with the little heathens. I wouldn't even call them heathens. They just straight up just nasty. And like the people say, hurt people. And that's what they do. And they try to come. But the thing is, I think God allowed me to get bullied to make me resilient. So when people do say things, of course I get hurt. But at the same time, I've been bullied before. I know how it is. People come at me crazy. It's because they're hurt themselves. So they try to hurt you. So I just be like, I'm going to let it slide now. Chill out now. Woo. Woo sigh. Meditation is definitely good when you angry. Because folks be trying it, And you have to be slow to anger. That's what I'm learning. That's why I'm like, whoo, because that's what I do. That's what I do now. Because, people be trying it sometimes. It's like, why you doing it? Ooh, no, stop. No. And I calm myself down. It's hard work with the anger for me. And the cursing, I'm actually doing pretty good now. Maybe because I'm too focused on other things. Because God is awesome. And I have awesome, the 3 friends I have, the 2 or 3 friends I have, they're awesome. The new friend I just met, he's awesome. I feel like when it comes down to dating, it should be friends first, honestly. And when I say dating, people see dating as, having sex. No, it's more of a courtship / dating in a way. You cannot be having sex. I'm sorry, just throw that out there. Like, no, I don't do that. No, not me. And I tell people that in this world, worldly world, like living in here now, it's kind of like, people look at you crazy like you're a diamond out of a dozen. Like, you ain't having no sex. You ain't gonna try the car out before you get in it. Like, what you mean? What if he bad in bed? Why you worry about if your husband bad in bed? Don't you think that maybe God gave you a good husband, and why is sex so important? It shouldn't be in the center of a relationship, honestly. It should be at the bottom, not even at the bottom, more the middle-ish top of list of things that's important. Come on now. God gotta be in the center. What you mean? Like, why I gotta be sex? It's not about sex. Come on, people now. I know it's difficult trying to, find people of God who have been genuinely saved, I know it's difficult to find people that actually have been saved, that actually are putting in work and changing. It's very difficult. I'm dealing with that now, actually. It's very difficult. Just keep going. Like I'm saying, hopping church. Church hopping is good. I don't see what's so wrong with it. Find a pastor that actually speaks the word. Don't just go to church to find friends, but go to church to find a good pastor and good people, man. And fellowship with them, man, is awesome. Those type of people will uplift you and make you a better human being. I feel like I need those people in my life. They really would. They will make you so awesome, and they'll uplift you and make you feel so awesome. They really would. Christian people are so nice. Some people that are genuinely saved, nice people, I love them. They're awesome. People in general, I love people that's ungodly, honestly, because they're hurt. And they feel as if God has abandoned them. And they feel unworthy and dirty. And they're broken. And when someone's broken, they don't see clearly at all. And I wasn't seeing clearly. So I understand. I get it. I really do. I really do get it. Okay. And then also, again, we always are warned through scripture. Again. Not to conform to this world. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Like people always say that. Not to conform to this world, which is so difficult. And it says, James chapter 1, verse 27. Be unstained by the world. James chapter 4, verse 4. Not be a friend of the world. You don't want to be a friend in this world. These folks, this world ain't your friends. This wicked folks and people. Some of these people are genuinely just wicked because they allow the devil to use them. And then when it's time for judgment day, they're going to cry. They're going to bow down. They're going to try to persuade God. But the thing is, God knows your heart, so you can't really persuade him because he already knows you full of crap. Like, come on now, people. You can't play Jesus. You can't. That's why I just be who I am. Yes, I get mad. Yes, I have thoughts of anger sometimes. That's just me thinking that, but I'm not going to say it because the pastor taught me. When you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Watch what you say because your tongue can be used as a weapon to hurt others. And you're right. He was so right. And I'm taking it serious because I want to bring that to a marriage with a nasty tongue. It's disgusting. You know, when I get married, whenever that is, I'm not obsessed about it, you know. Don't be obsessed about marriage, by the way. Just because I'm 25 now, don't do it. It's not fair for us 25 and up people to push us and make us, oh, you gotta get married, have 500 kids. Dang, how you know God just want me to have one? Did you think about that? Like, Jesus, people, everybody's timeline is different. Some people get married at 50. Some people get married at 60. Some people get married at 30. That's freaking beautiful. That's when they waited on Jesus. They had to learn some things in life. It's okay. It's not that serious. Most people don't even die until like 80 or 90. So come on now. We have a long way to go out here in these streets. Well, some of us. And sometimes some of us leave earlier. And don't blame God for people's deaths. That's what. Throw that out there. You know, they're in heaven. They're at peace. They're not in this wicked world. That's awesome. Smile. Be happy, you know. Pray that person went to heaven. It's okay to mourn for like weeks or whatever. You know, it's okay to cry. Like, ooh, dang, I'm a crybaby anyway. I know. It's okay to feel bad. And it's okay to miss them sometimes. It's okay to pray for them. It's okay to pray for yourself to keep your mind right. It's okay to be sad and show emotion. Especially guys. I'm talking to y'all, especially. It's okay, dudes, to show emotion. Lord Jesus, it's like a crime for you. John warns us, do not love the world, nor the things in this world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So if you love this world, you know, the love for God is not in you. If you don't believe in demons and the devil, you don't believe in God. I just learned it from somebody else. So that's all I have to say. You know, we're living in this world. It's very hard to continue the path, that narrow path to God, but once you get there, just keep it pushing, keep walking down that path. Even though you might get tripped, or knocked off the path here and there, or knocked down, fall on your face, you know, tumble, get drop kicked. I mean, that's life, man. It's not playing no games. The devil's coming out here for blood. That's all I got to say. He's coming. And thank you for watching my channel. And remember, it's okay. It's okay to feel broken. God will fix a broken person, make you whole, and I don't know, just be at peace and be so chill like me, you know. Not ashamed of your past, just be chilling, you know. Not full of it, if it makes sense. Not so super religious, if that makes sense too. Have a blessed day. And remember, I'm unworthy. I'm imperfect. And I put God first. And I'm still working on myself, but I have a long way to go. And I want people to watch this video and understand that, shit, we all still working on something, you know? So, in this world, you have to stay strong and put God first. Follow His commandments. Repent. When you feel like you've done something wrong, that's called feeling bad, you know? It's not that bad. It's no black and white. You know, it's good and bad. If you don't know the difference, it's time to go to God and figure that out quick. Have a blessed day.